All right. Looks like we are live. We are here without Mitch, but that's Zunaid. Word around the streets is we're going to have producer AB coming in for some laughs. I hope you'll join us. It's live trading. Roll that intro.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to live trading. We are here and we're going to make some money. I know you normally get Mitch and his very crispy production intros. I'm going to do my best to fill in for him while we're gone. How you doing, Zunaid? Happy Monday. Zunaid is muted.
You know what, AB, you got to do these checks for me. We're just going to blame AB for everything that goes wrong, right? Like the intro was kind of weird because we thought, AB, here's how it works. You come in only, you do the intro, and then you introduce us. But AB just said, oh, here, you go. Come on.
You're right. Everything that goes wrong today.
You know how people say thanks,
I'm not
Obama?
half the producer Mitch is, but we're gonna make do. And more importantly, we're gonna make some fire trades this morning. I see, Zunaid, that you have the Apple chart pulled up. So of course we got the news last night that Foxconn, the factory in China, is shutting down amid new COVID fears. And here's all I got to say about that, right?
What's up?
The market, we don't like uncertainty. This is just another layer of added uncertainty, right? How long will this lockdown last, et cetera, et cetera. But let's provide some context, right? We've been here before. 2 years ago, shut down, I would argue, in a more severe fashion when we really didn't know anything about COVID at that point. Did that ultimately end up having a big impact on Apple's revenue, earnings, et cetera? No, not at all. So the way I see this, short term, more uncertainty, bad news for Apple. Long term, not worried about it in the slightest.
Yeah, to be honest, Bree, I think that's exactly right. To be honest, when I hear these types of reports, normally I view this as a buying opportunity of Apple. The only reason I'm going to temper my jets today is because with everything else going on, supply chain, conflict in Russia, high PE stocks getting crushed, technology getting crushed. With all that going on, I might just kind of wait this out and see if it finds footing. But normally these are buyable bottoms. You're spot on there. We did get that news this weekend. We'll see if it ends up playing through here today. The thing that I'm watching here in the pre-market, VIX still at 31, right? So we're above 30 on the VIX. If we see some selling pressure out of the gate, that VIX may elevate a little bit and may make it a little bit difficult. If we do start trading down here today, thing we're going to look for is relative strength. And by the way, AB, we are not going to be blaming you for all of the problems. We are going to be blaming daylight savings time for all of the problems because we lost an hour this weekend and that sucks. So I don't know about Zunaid, but I'm blaming everything that goes wrong on daylight savings time today. Happy Pi Day to all of you out there.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was Pi Day. It's also 314 Day for all my St. Louisans out there. Happy 314 Day.
Is it like an area
I was
code
in your
thing?
neck of the woods over the weekend in Chicago, so I got the double whammy going back to Detroit. Losing an hour going back to Detroit, and then also with the daylight savings. So I'm with you there.
Brutal. What were you saying, Zunaid?
I said, no, I'm definitely blaming AB. There's no question about it. But yeah, we can look, you know how people say thanks, Obama. I'm saying thanks, AB. That's exactly what I'm doing. So like if I lose money today, I'm like, thanks, AB. Wouldn't have happened if Mitch was here. You know what I mean? That's exactly the route I'm going.
Gotcha.
But I've got my screen shared here. By the way, losing an hour, yeah, definitely tough. Definitely tough.
I'm telling you, man, it's the worst.
It really is. All right, Apple, you already know I love my 150s. So I've already got some limit orders out there. You can see 100 shares at a 150.30, then 300 shares at 150.06, and then another 100 at 159.90. On Apple. If this comes down and fills these up, I'm expecting a bounce of at least 70 cents, if not a little bit more. No idea if we'll get it. At the moment, you've got 151.50 that is holding on as support on Apple, but we're definitely going to try to look for that bounce there. Baba, by the way, is under, I believe it's under $100. We're not going to touch that, but let's take a look at NVIDIA. I'm going to set an alert if I haven't already. Oh, look at that. I already have on $200 in case it wants to come down to that area. You can see I've already got support kind of right there on NVIDIA as well. And that's the reason I have that support, because that was the previous low on March 6th. Speaking of which, I know I've got some levels marked on SPY as well. If we come back and test any of these areas, whether it's the 415 or the 410, I will look to go along and probably play SPY expiration of today, call side, just again to scale. I was looking at my trading journal, and something that I realized was I didn't, my position scale out sell side wasn't as great. So like if I get into 10 contracts, I would maybe only scale out like 2 at a time instead of like scaling out 5 at a time. So that's something I'm going to try to practice a little bit better. But let's go ahead and take a look at Microsoft here. Nothing too crazy on Microsoft for me at the moment, but I'll definitely keep an eye on that. And also Tesla, if it can get back, if Tesla can try to get back to around, let's say $800 or so, and especially around 800 or 812, I will look to go short Tesla. Just again, scalping, just trying to get something a little bit. You can already see in the pre-market, 800 was a resistance area on Tesla. So those are my stocks for the moment. And as always, I'll keep an eye on the options to see what comes in on the downside or the upside.
All right. I got a couple here. Let me throw up my screen. Just because Mitch is not here, I'm going to go ahead and lead with Nightscope, KSCP. This is trading up after announcing a new contract here. So the company announced a new commercial developer contract. Mitch likes to laugh about RoboCop all the time. So I'm going to mention that here in his honor. Unsure if I'm actually going to trade this. We would need to see some volume come in here. But one of the other trading ideas that I do want to talk about here real quick actually came from our community. We talk all of the time about how great our community is. We brag about it, and they continually show us how awesome they are all the time. And this weekend, we actually had this report here. This is a Reuters report that Ukraine has started using Clearview's AI facial software during this conflict. Now, this was sent to me by one of our viewers, 13, said facial recognition is a type of biometric identification. And since Clearview AI is not publicly traded, let's look at some other stocks that might move in sympathy. So let's go ahead and do that now together. First one here is going to be BKYI. And Zunaid, if you have any, ideas on where the chart is, or you want to take a look at these with your charting and come up with some potential levels or anything like that, that will be awesome. That would be much appreciated. Here, what we have with BKYI is a chart that's really kind of found a bottom here right around 2. This actually looks like it's coming off 2. We've had a silver cross last Tuesday. This is low price, low float. So if we get some volume in this name, the fireworks could be huge here. IDN is going to be another one. Again, this is another low float, low price stock here, and it looks like we're trying to bottom. Interestingly enough, I don't know if the bottom is in yet on this name. So what we really want to do is wait until we find some footing here. It looks like we're kind of testing this low again, right around $2. We may put this low in on April 3rd of 2020. So we'll see if this comes down here and gets tested. Again, low float, be careful. Next one here is AWRE. This is low float, low price, and it looks like we have the making of an inverse head and shoulders here. So this is really interesting. I would say 260 is probably the low here, but it actually looks like it wants to reverse now, and we can actually use all of these different moving average lines from the daily as your levels. This is so because these are all low float, these can really move around in a single session. In fact, if you look at some of these candles, you can see that these will often move 50 to 80 cents in a day. So we want to keep these on radar. Last one here is CACI. This is Keki International. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but who cares? This is low float breaking out of a bull pennant and has a gold and silver cross last week. So I actually should check the options on this one, Zunaid. This would probably be a option trader. Let's see if they're very liquid. Now, these are not very liquid options. This might be a little difficult to trade. But anyway, this is a much higher price stock and looks like this is going through a nice breakout here. So we're going to watch these names for sure.
Sweet, I love it. And that other one that you told me, BKYI, I mean, yeah, $2 is solid. If you look at the daily, if you want to throw it up, or if you want to throw it up, $2. I mean, your stop loss will be below 190, so you're looking at about maybe right here. So that's, look at that, bounce multiple times there. Go ahead and poke below. So I'd say if you go ahead and crack 190, let's just call it 188, 12-cent risk. But currently it's trading at about, I believe, 230. So you've got about 30 cents for it to come on down, and then you can try to take a ride on up. By the way, one stock I forgot to mention was AMD. I've already got an order out to buy about 100 shares here. Depending on how close Apple gets to my 150 trigger, I might cancel that and move my funds here. Stop loss would be below 99.49, which you can see was the daily low since almost going back to last August. You can see that $100 is giving us at least a few nice bounces, including the last time. You can see a bunch of arrows here that we tried to trade AMD, and that was the last time you had a $100 bounce, getting you at least a $10 move on that. Spencer, you got any moves?
Spencer,
you're muted, by the way, but I'm glad you moved yourself, but you yourself are muted.
Quick shout out to Mighty Soldiers Trades out there. What's going on, Andy? Hope you have a good morning. Another shout, Jeff Dees, saying Mullen was featured in a car magazine about their electric vehicle. Now, of course, Mullen has recently gone on a huge run here today. Looks like we're trading up in the pre-market. Good shout there, Jeff Dees.
Yeah, let's take a look at SPY and see what that's doing. Hanging around. Yeah, I would not be surprised if SPY tries to come on down to about at least the 415s to go ahead and kind of maybe even the 410s to test the low of February 24th. But you guys can't hear me? No, we cannot. Nor I don't know if the chat can, but I
Pinky's out for Mitch. Pinky's out for Mitch.
You know what? We'll have Pinky's out for Mitch. I'm gonna try to finish this liter of water by the time we get off stream. I don't know how many ounces that is. I think it's like 30 ounces or so. But
all right, how about now?
Yes,
there we
perfect.
go, buddy.
All right. And I didn't just to clear there, I didn't move. I just we're using the real camera now. I was on my laptop camera earlier, which is why I looked so disheveled. John D. AB.
You get what you pay for.
AB keeps trolling people. First the article, now the mic. I don't know.
What'd you troll with the article?
I wouldn't really call that a troll, but anyway, I have a question for you guys, Zunaid and Ryan, and we'll pose this out to the chat too. Say I had a friend who was holding some Apple calls going into this morning.
The friend who bought them on Friday?
Yeah, a friend who bought them on Friday. Should I tell that friend to like wait and see if Apple gets a little bounce off the open, or to just sell them right away for whatever he can? Just that way to salvage some of that investment.
Well, I would tell AB. I mean, I would tell a friend of yours.
Okay.
We need more information, such as what strike, what expiration. We need a little more insight
profile. Here. What's your plan? Do you?
Let me log into my friend's
security number.
Let me log into my friend's brokerage account real quick and see. All right, so it looks like he bought Apple calls that expire this Friday, March 18th, $160 strike. He's got he's got 5 contracts. It looks like. So yeah, I've got 9 minutes. I got to tell this buddy what to do in 9 minutes.
Yeah. Ryan, you want to take a stab at this first?
I don't particularly want to take a stab at this one. No.
Okay, I'll take.
I will say, it looks like you might be in trouble here, AB. I would say if you don't get a bounce here, follow your risk plan. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because if I tell you to sell it, you're going to sell it, and then the thing is going to bounce to 165, and you're going to want to punch me in the mouth. So I don't want to do that. What I will say is I don't think this is coming back to 160 today. Let's wait and see what the volume and price stick looks like on the open. You'll get more information in about 9 minutes.
Got it. Yeah, Sadat saying I should stop being his friend. Sadat, I wish that was an option. So for some reason, I just can't get away from this guy. So, all right, let's take another stock from the chat. What is everyone watching? I was also going to talk about this. Oil keeps moving lower. We're down to 104 for crude, down more than 20% from its highs of 130. So I'm watching these oil stocks. I mean, if you look at Oxy, you look at Chevron. To me, they're still overextended. I mean, if oil prices stay relatively high for, a year, half a year, whatever, these companies are probably at a fair value right now. But if oil prices continues to drop, then these stocks have to as well, right?
You'd think so. Could you do me a favor and tell the gas stations around me that the oil price is going down? Because it just paid over $5 a gallon this weekend for it.
I
That
did
AB had a good
notice-
point. AB had a good point on Friday about the lagging on the gas station side. I like what you said on Friday, AB. Do you remember that?
Right. No, I never remember what I said.
Okay.
More than
Well,
2 days
AB.
ago.
Well,
No.
this was 3, so that makes sense. But AB pretty much said the markets are down in terms of oil, but it takes maybe a week or whatever time frame he may have said for the gas stations to have that reflected on their prices as well. So we should see, according to AB, those prices come down a little bit.
Yeah, and especially over a weekend, Zunaid, you will not get that reflection in prices. But yeah, Ryan, I noticed that too when I was in Chicago over the weekend. Gas prices in Chicago, I mean, everywhere are insane, but Chicago, it wasn't pretty. Let's just say that. But yeah, don't expect like if oil prices keep moving down today for gas price, but hopefully by the end of the week, if we keep getting this lower movement on crude oil again at about $104 a barrel, we should at least see that reflected in 50. I don't know if I can say 50 cents. I don't know. However much gas prices should move down relatively to the oil price. But yeah, correct, Zunaid. We'll give it a few days to lag.
Yeah.
By the way,
sorry, I appreciate you trying to be nice about it, but it's a complete disaster, AB. You can say it. The gas prices here really suck. I was filling up a premium, which is even worse. I saw a map of gas prices across the United States this morning on the news, and Illinois is right there in the middle of all of these other cheap states with gas. Right there is a really, really high red. It was just really bad. It made me really, really sad. I don't like that. I did see a question here from the chat I wanted to answer real quick. It was from Party Bonza. I saw Chevron got downgraded today. How come? That was a Morgan Stanley downgrade. They actually moved to equal weight and announced a 166 price target. I actually don't have the report here, so I can't dig through it and give you the why. Our news desk might know. You should reach out to them. If anyone else out there knows the reason that Morgan Stanley downgraded it, go ahead and shout it out here in the chat for us.
Yeah, and
Gas
prices are high, no question about it. But at least you're not an investor in a firm. Had a top of about 176 or so, and now you're looking at about a $29 print. So you're looking at a 82% downside.
Well, Zunaid, maybe soon you'll be able to buy now, pay later at the gas pump.
I'm sure that is a sound financial decision.
Oh man!
Use a firm at Exxon Mobil to fill up. You pay $100 to your tank.
Imagine! Oh my goodness! What's another stock? Oh, Rivian is another one. I think that's trading in the low 30s. This one was all the way up to 180s, give or take. Rivian, by the way, I believe we played this one short the other day. That's what it was. Yeah, we played this one short and we had a 100% gainer on our contracts. I might take a look at Rivian if it tries to cross above 40 again and have that be resistance. You can see I already got a couple of alerts set. So let me actually do that. Let me set an alert on Rivian there as well and see what we can play off of that. AB, oh, he left. Never mind. I was going to ask my question.
I'm here, man. What's your question?
What are there any stocks you're looking at that you're interested in besides your friend's Apple?
He's looking at Apple.
Well, that's his friends, though. I want to see if he individually, as AB, has anything, as the sun shines on his hair.
I've been, well, yeah, we do have this beautiful like sunrise. I don't even know. Dude, it's crazy. It was like dark as hell when I woke up this morning at like 7. So it's going to take some getting used to that. But back to your question. I've been watching Netflix the past couple weeks, Zunaid, because to me, this has to bounce at some point. I don't know what that point is. Maybe it's $100 a share and it's at 330 right now. But Netflix is now trading at half of its share price that it was like 3 months ago. It was like a 700 or I think 680 at its highs. Now down to about 340. So actually almost like exactly in half over the past few months. But yeah, man. I mean, I agree. It should have moved down from 680. Do I think it should have moved down to 340? No, I think more fair value would be around like 450 right here. So I'm trying to swing this at some point, but I'm not trying to catch any falling knives. I'm waiting to see that bottom. So whether that happens this week, next week, but that's been kind of top of my watch list right now is Netflix.
All right, fair enough. Let me take a look at Lucid. Somebody mentioned this in the chat. Any thoughts on Lucid from anyone? $20 would be a decent bounce area, and I say that just because of the whole number situation. But it looks like 16 is another level. of support right here. I don't think it'll get all the way there. By the way, Neo I saw was at $15, but that was like a $50 stock at one point. I don't have a good read on Lucid, not gonna lie. Besides the 20, oh, actually, here's one, $22. You can see it bounce a few times here, but for me, it'd be $20 to try to play this one, unless you get an intraday type situation. But besides that, I don't necessarily have anything. PDD could be an interesting short, risk off against $30 or so. But that's really about it. Someone mentioned Baba as well. Of course, if anyone else has any.
Yeah, the Chinese stocks are getting absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, I think Luke has. AB, you might know this because you were hanging out with him and he talked about it. Does he still have his $100 calls or whatever?
He does.
On Baba?
He does.
Okay.
I talked to him.
Yeah, those are probably dead.
Yeah.
Well, not dead, but he's probably down big on them.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's probably. But here's the thing: they were what, a year out or something?
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
sometimes you can get, with increased IV, even if it's moving against you, the contracts can sometimes hold up.
Yeah.
But I mean, all these names, all these Chinese names, I'm done trying to say there's good value, that they're undervalued right now, because if it keeps moving lower, then you can't make the argument that it's undervalued. So because that's what the market's valuing it at. So I don't know, Baba. Baba will be interesting once it finally bottoms and starts coming back up. Today, to me, is not that day.
Yeah, Microsoft, by the way, I don't think it'll get there today, but just to have an alert set, 270. You see it kind of finding a bottom there twice for a bounce. Let's see if there's any other. What was that one ticker you mentioned? BYIK, was it? Nope.
BKYI, I believe. Unless I'm mixing it. Yeah, BKYI.
Set an alert here as well.
Also worth noting, just from last week, MGLD. This had a huge run last week. That actually looks like it might be setting up for a big run today. I believe that's a pretty low float stock as well. And then one more here. We already talked about Mullen, AGRI from last week as well. Looks like that one's getting a little bit of action. That ran pretty big last week, so we'll keep an eye on those as well.
Oh, show.
There we go. Good luck, everyone.
Keeping an eye on AMD here as well. Looks like D-Dog is... Why do I have D-Dog alerts here? Why do I have it? I think it's irrelevant now. Let's see. Let's throw up Apple here. Let's have a few tickers, see what we got going on.
Yeah.
Let's see. What other stocks you guys want on here? We'll have
Apple
SPY.
looks like it is holding that 150, 180 right out of the gate here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I know my buddy's watching that, but let's see.
Does he know what his contracts are worth?
Let's see. They lost 50% on the open.
Okay.
So
Not bad.
okay, so
Yeah,
so
not
bounce
terrible.
might put you back in play then.
yeah. We're coming. We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna give it a sec, or he's gonna give it a sec. Oh wow, Matty! Shout out Matty Ice in the chat. He's pointing out SoFi below $9. Matty Ice, Matty Ice is great with some spreads and iron condors and these kind of, to me, complex option strategies. So Matty, if you're watching anything, if you've got any spreads out there, let us know in the chat. Also, I mean, for you guys, Ryan and Zunaid, Matty would be a great guy to bring on some morning with you guys.
Hey, set it up. We just show up, man. Y'all the one getting them hosts on.
All right. Noted. Maddie, if you're down to come on this show.
I don't even have the login
big-time
information.
Contributor for a long time for us here. That would be sweet. By the way, Mullen, first move out of the open here is higher. They looks like they're running this. There's 95 down.
Yep.
Going to try it here at 96. We're just trying for a quick scalp. 96, 97 is your...
Ooh.
See if they take down 98. I think a run here at 2 is probably going to happen. See if they end up taking down 98 here.
You've got about more than 150,000
Big
shares.
refresh seller
Look
there.
at that volume.
Big refresh seller.
Look at that candle on Apple. Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, your friend's got a lot of money to try and save these contracts. I'll tell you that.
I know he's happy with that move, but still a long ways to go. I mean, we're still
So
eight bucks away from the strike price. But
on a serious note, you've got to pop to 153. At this point, are you going to say, hey, I was able to get some of my, by the way, it looks like you've got some bullish activity on the 250 calls on Mullen expiring this week.
Mullen's spot is at 2, by the way. There's a huge volume stick there at 198. We got to watch for 198 and 2 to get taken out. Sorry, keep going.
No, you're perfectly fine. I'm glad you mentioned it. AB, on a serious note, you've got 153s that were just popping up there. Are you going to try to salvage what you have with your calls, or are you going to say, hey, I'm already red, I'm just going to hang on and see if I can get more, because I don't want to miss the bounce if I do?
To be honest, Zunaid, it's not a huge position. So right now it's about, I have 5 contracts valued at $55. So the value is about $280. I'll probably just set a stop at like 30 cents a contract, so that if it gets down there, I'll get 150 bucks. I don't like lose all my money, but to me, I don't see it worth it to start selling now, just because I don't know. You know, I can stomach losing 100 more bucks.
All right, fair enough. I was just curious what your thought process.
But if I was telling someone else what to do, I don't think that'd be the worst idea, to take some money off the table here. Say, okay, we got some nice movement. We're at an opportunity now where we can take some money off the table.
Okay, I hear you. Let me see if we've got anything going on here.
Market pulling a little bit here. Looks like it's trying to get its footing, though, right here at the opening print. And Apple looks like it's trying to bounce, but unable to do it so far.
No, it is not. I'm going to take a look at Coinbase and see if we can go short Coinbase here in a second. You got
Coinbase has been a fun stock to short recently. I mean, it's just like every time it has a good day or makes some gains, it gives it right back. Now
these
trading
spreads are there. We go. I'm gonna grab real quick starter size because I want it to come back and bounce above 160. So literally just 2 contracts here for me on Coinbase. I went ahead and got the 150 puts expiring this week. My stop loss is going to be if it can crack above 160 here. But for now, that's what I am in. 150 puts. You go ahead. Yeah, I saw your trigger.
Mullen looks like it's trying to make another run towards 2 here.
All right. You've got TSM, by the way. Looks like it's trying to come on down to $100. So as always, I will try to play a bounce here. Let me go to Apple since that's a few bucks away. I'm going to see if I can play this one for a $100 bounce. Let's buy it out there for about $100. Yeah, that's coming down market. Let's see what SPY's trying to do. 420 is an area of support that I have. So if it goes below, it'll be looking great for our puts on Coinbase. Our puts on Coinbase, you're up a measly 4%. So nothing to really do there. What I will
at 199.
Here, let me put your stock up here as well. MULN. There you go.
Mullins stopped again at 199.2 there. Might have a scalp right through 2. Agri pushing up here through 4. Mullen at 2 and Mullen through. So Mullen, you got your trade through 2 there. We'll see where they end up stopping this. This is incredible volume here this morning on Mullen.
Yeah, you've got 203 through a 4 now printing on MULN.
205. Wow, big move here on Mullen.
Nice call out there. On Coinbase, by the way, you're up only a 5% or so, but I do have my first out on Coinbase at $4.90 and then $5.40. Just so we can capture some.
Buy is red.
Let's see. So some tickers from the
Apple's
chat.
Still trying to bounce.
It is.
Looks like Ariel's looking at Snow. 30's looking at CEI. I mean, we saw all those cheap energy stocks run the past couple of weeks. My opinion on them is I'm not that interested in them right now because I feel like I kind of missed the boat on them. But who knows? I mean, oil prices stay high. Things keep escalating. Some of these energy names could continue to rip.
For Snow, I would say above 185, you could grab some calls. If you really want to be cheeky with it, you can go calls right here. And then low of day below 175, you can go ahead and get out. But again, you're trying to pick the bottom. Therefore, you should get smaller size because it's not a breakout. You're trying to play a bounce. It's a little different. So I would say above 185, you're solid. If you're trying to be cheeky here, at low of days, you're risk off.
Baba's bouncing here. I wonder if some of the other names are bouncing. JD, let's take a look at K-Web. Yeah, it looks like all the China names are bouncing. Interesting.
Well, where is can we get, or Ryan, do you have Baba up on your chart? Let's see.
Yeah, I was just kind of scrolling through them here. I went through K-Web first, but here's Baba as well. Just kind of watching the 1 minute chart. So we hit a low of what, 77 and change, it looks like.
Holy cow.
Yeah, this thing, I'm telling you, man, the destruction in these names have been really, really crazy. I mean, look at this. You were talking about Coinbase being a fun one to short. My goodness.
And going back to what we were talking about with China, with Foxconn shutting down and the new COVID wave coming through, I mean, right now they're dealing with Omicron, right? Like we know about Omicron. We know it's not that serious. So to me, it's also, like you said, Ryan, just the added layer of uncertainty. The first time we had factories shutting down from COVID 2 years ago, we didn't also have an existing supply chain issue. We didn't have a potential for World War III. So it's just another added layer of uncertainty. But I'm not worried about the COVID shutdowns because if they're just taking precautionary measures for Omicron, or
no, so here's the thing. So you got two things going on. I mean, one, obviously they have a ridiculous, I mean, no offense, but they have a ridiculous zero tolerance COVID policy. Trying to keep zero tolerance on an airborne respiratory disease is like trying to ice skate uphill. It's very silly. You just talked about Omicron being far less mild than some of the more severe strains. That's just one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is the one that you kind of touched on here, with them being friendly with Russia and how are they gonna handle this? I saw an article that Russia was asking for their help with Ukraine. That's going to put China in a position where they need to make a choice. And so, are they going to go the way of Russia, which is currently a country that's getting canceled right now? If you look at some of the news, or are they actually going to work with the West? And I think that you're kind of seeing that reflected in some of these stocks. I mean, if China were to help Russia, let's just take the if, for example, what do you think would happen to some of their stocks?
Well, then we have a decision to make, Ryan. Are we willing to sanction China like we've sanctioned Russia, who China, again, is our biggest trade partner in the world?
Yeah, I would imagine if they help the Russians invade Ukraine, yes, that would probably be the result. That would be my guess. I'm just guessing, though. I'm speculating. I'm not part of the government. So
no, and if that happens, we're playing in this hypothetical situation.
Yep.
I would think, yes, China stocks would get hammered like we've seen Russia stocks get hammered. But so would our stocks, because like I said, China's our number one business partner. You lose on business with your number one business partner.
No question.
U.S. equities are going to get hit too, but not to the extent that Chinese names will. So I'm hoping that's not the case, because I don't think that would be. I don't think that'd be good for our economy at all. I'm hoping China continues to try to stay in this kind of mode where they don't really want to piss us off or Russia off. So maybe hopefully they'll just politely decline and say, hey, we're not going to stop you guys, but we're not going to help you guys either.
Coinbase, the puts, I'm out at 490. We told you guys the limit order that I had. I'm out half my size at 490. The rest I'm going to hold on till about 540 or so. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're all good. Nice job, by the way. Sorry, I'm just going.
Oh, Moderna's moving up on the new. Oh wow, up 11%. And Moderna had been getting absolutely hammered, down 40% in the past 3 months. So getting a nice bounce today, of course, off the news in China. Let's see if Pfizer is moving as well.
Big rip on Moderna out of the open here.
Yeah, I mean, Moderna's Pfizer's up, but about 2%. Moderna's up about 10%. So
well, it's probably this first participant dose in phase 1 study of its HIV trimmer and mRNA vaccine. Trimmer or trimer?
I don't know, maybe it's a typo, but anyway, yeah, I mean that's been my kind of bull case for Moderna, is that people have grouped it in as just a COVID play, which of course it was, but Moderna has like some very impressive things in the pipeline in terms of like what they're going to be able to do with their mRNA technology down the line, including a potential cure for HIV/AIDS. So I
yeah, I don't really have thoughts on a trade on Moderna right now because, of course, it's already, well, that's up 12. I mean, it's ripping. So we'll keep watching it, but I don't have a trade set up for Moderna right now. Looks like we've got Mullen pulled back up. What's our price
Yeah,
check on Mullen?
I'm just going through stuff. Sorry, I'm just
No,
kind of watching.
don't apologize. This is good. I don't know if this is good because I mean,
it is.
Okay.
We're looking for new opportunities. I'm just rolling through what I'm getting off my relative volume scanner. Nothing really standing out at the moment.
And then Ryan, can you give me a quick explanation on because I don't use a relative volume scanner. Why is that your go-to?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a great question, and we can explore this together. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. If any of you guys have a trade that you need to shout out, please do so. Otherwise, we're kind of just waiting in the wings. So one of the things that we're talking about, especially for shorter term day trades, AB, is we're looking for some type of catalyst to get us in. And obviously, news is one of the more obvious catalysts, that earnings, any type of new news story, things of that nature. But sometimes volume flow can be enough of a catalyst to take a shorter term trade. And relative volume is an excellent indicator for measuring this. So what I've got here is under my active filters, I'll explain why I have these filters on and why they're important. First of all, the type, we're just looking for stock, right? Common shares, ETF, ADR, doesn't really matter where the stock is. We're looking for a vehicle to trade here. Next one here is volume, 1 million shares. This is how many shares have traded on the day. The only reason I have this in here is because I want to trade something that's liquid. I don't want to get myself involved in a play that's only traded 1,000 shares because I don't know if I'm going to be able to exit that play later on in the day. So one of the first filters here, I got to find liquid stocks, and I do that by filtering simply on volume. Now let's get to the crux of your question and talk about relative volume. First of all, the one thing that you should know is in Benzinga Pro, in the scanner, you'll see some of the fields have this little question mark next to it. It might be difficult to see on my screen because of the resolution. But if I zoom in a little bit here, you can see there's a question mark right next to relative volume. And what that's going to do is that's going to explain to you exactly what this filter is and how it works. So let me go ahead and mouse over it here. Relative volume compares the past 5 minutes of volume to the 10-day average of volume for the same time period. And that's the key. Presented as a ratio. So for example, a relative volume of 2 at 10:05 Eastern means that the stock did 2 times the average volume that it did between 10 and 10:05. So the reason that this is important is because stocks are going to do their thing every single day. I don't necessarily need to watch them on the days where they're not doing anything. But when this relative volume spikes, you can tell that what it's doing is it's measuring against the average volume of the same time frame. And think about that for a sec. Right when the market opens, volumes are normally higher. They're higher around the open and the close. So if you were to compare the relative volume of a stock around the opening versus, let's say, its lunchtime volume, of course you're going to get crazy readings because the volume is simply different during that time. This filter is awesome because it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. It's always looking against the 10-day average of that time period in the past. This means that this will often throw out stocks that are trading abnormally. Perhaps there are more eyeballs on them. Perhaps something has happened, whether it be a piece of news, a bigger investor, whatever the case is. Something is making the volume in this stock trade above normal. We want to know about that because we might be able to take advantage of that. And because this works so quickly, as it comes to day trading, sometimes just volume flow is enough to pop a stock and give us an opportunity to trade it. Finally, the last one I have here is change percent over the rolling 1 minute window. And I have this set at 0.2 because I'm looking for things that are trading up. Remember, things can trade up or down on exceeding relative volume. I'm a long bias trader, so I'm looking for the things that are trading up.
Got it.
Questions?
Yeah. No, that was a great explanation. I love it. Zunaid, anything you're watching over the past couple of minutes?
Still looking at Coinbase. So you can see half our size we got out at 490. Now those contracts are trading at about $4 exactly. Now my decision making will be, hey, if this 10-minute candle, which closes in 3 minutes, ends up above VWAP, but not over my ultimate stop loss of 160, am I going to get out or not? Since I've booked half my profits, I might not. Let's see what the SPY is at to help me. By the way, on TSM, I went ahead and took off the $100 order just simply because you saw that this got a little close. It didn't fill me. The last thing I want is because, it's not going to continue bouncing off 100 forever and ever. So I like to get the first bounce. If I don't get it, I like to move on. But let's go
Wait,
to
Zunaid,
SPY.
can you do me
What's
a
up?
favor and go to a chart of just the Qs, and I want to look at the
Sure.
last like 10-minute candle in the Qs, because it looks like we got a huge rip here. I don't know.
we did.
I don't know if this is just a technical move or if we got any news or anything, but this is a big 10-minute move over the past or in the Qs right now.
Yeah, you got the move. It tested the low. So you got the first 10-minute candle. You can see it touched the 322. Then the second one came back and tested it. Now, if you're a bull, you want this 10-minute candle to close above the previous closing, especially if it can close above 325, which you can see was a little bit of resistance here in the pre-market. That would be huge. Where you can see here, it was support, became resistance. So you want this 10-minute candle, if possible, to close over that 325. But your stop loss, if you're trying to go in anywhere on the long side, is going to be 322. Below that, risk off on that.
Pretty awesome that Mitch is on a plane and still found us. So Mitch is in the chat here. He's shit talking
nice.
Zunaid, which I think is hilarious. I'm just kidding, Zunaid. I was just trying to get you worked up there. Anyway, Mitch calling out news from the chat, calling out PayPal. Stock is moving around here. Mitch also says I'd still be looking at that materials trade. So FYI, Mitch, have a safe flight.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead. Let me go back to Coinbase. Let's see what's going back to Coinbase since we're in that one.
Still running though. I mean, Zunaid, this would have actually been the YOLO play here this morning.
What
to hit the puts off the open and then switch and go long.
And okay, I'm sorry, Zunaid, YOLO on PayPal. AB, look at your Apple, man. Trading up. Your friend's Apple. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me check on my friend's Apple real quick. Yeah,
the fact that you have his login information is very impressive. Great trust issues. I mean, great trust that you guys have.
Yeah, no, we're really tight.
Once you meet AB, it's quite easy to trust him.
Oh man.
I mean, I can't think of very many people that are Cardinals fans that I trust, but I trust AB.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Oh, speaking of, I mean, Ryan, how pumped are you? Baseball's back, right?
You know what? I'm really excited. I'm glad they got it worked out. But like, come on, did this really even need to happen? I'm just glad we're going to get the sport back. Yeah, you're right.
And then, of course, we had the Brady news yesterday. We had
March
Madness brackets come out. I mean, this is a good time for sports. The past week or so.
So, do we think Brady is going to stick with the Bucs, or do we think he's going somewhere else?
He said in the tweet that he was playing in Tampa Bay next year. But then I've heard since then people are speculating that he may want to play somewhere else, maybe San Francisco or Oakland
San Francisco, yeah.
So I don't know. But in the tweet that Brady tweeted out, he said, I'll be in Tampa Bay next year. But I was so flabbergasted. I mean,
as a visiting team.
I logged into Twitter just by happenstance and refreshed my Twitter, and that was the first tweet on my feed. Brady had tweeted it a minute ago, so I had the pleasure of being able to send that tweet to my friends and stuff and be like,
nice.
"Holy shit!"
You were that guy.
Yeah, I was that guy because I just happened to open my Twitter account so right when he tweeted it.
Yeah.
And then I remember I checked back a minute later and it had 100,000 likes. It had already gone viral. All the news are.
Yeah, I think it had 500,000 likes or something like that.
I know, and I'm not a huge Brady guy, but honestly, I'm really excited because I was kind of sad to see him go, but it'll be fun.
The funniest stuff was
he's the greatest that ever played quarterback. I mean, we get to watch him keep playing. It's good for the league. It's good for everybody.
Proton saying Brady has to come back. He had to come back because of gas prices.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
It's that bad. Even Tom Brady needed to come out of retirement. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. It was funny. All the people that work for college basketball, NCAA, they were probably pissed. Selection Sunday is their day, and Tom Brady just took it over.
But that's what I mean. Tom Brady's such a figure that he can take over Selection Sunday on his own.
Forget Selection Sunday. I believe he tweeted that while Kevin Garnett's jersey retirement was happening.
Yeah, I think so too. His own Boston counterpart. All right, Mitch in the chat saying banks and financials are moving. We were looking at PayPal, Square. I mean, do those move? They don't move with the big banks, but if JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo are ripping, that's also good for PayPal and Square too, right? Or no? I don't know. Maybe they trade more with tech and less with financials.
I'm sorry.
I think they just have relative weakness all around, but let's go ahead and take a look at PayPal here. Ooh. By the way, on Moderna, I would wait for it to try to come back. As you can see, it's probably never going to come back near VWAP if you want to go long that. But look at something here. We often talk about the breakout above a place, come back and test it. And you've got a breakout above $50. And you can see on that second 10-minute candle, what did it do? It came back and tested the 150, 10 cents off of it, and then it continued going. So you don't always have to get in on the breakout. You can also wait, have it test, let that be your confirmation, and then enjoy the ride up and have your stop loss in proper places as well. But I'm going to go back to a 4-box here to get all of our stocks. Apple above VWAP, that's good for AB there. Coinbase below, coming back to 157s, that's good for me. And let's see, what was your MULN? That trade went all the way to 210s almost, and then coming back down. Now look at that VWAP bounce right there.
Hey, let's also do a quick check-in on DWAC. DWAC now under $70. I'm very confident there is a trade setting up here. I just don't know what that trade is.
Yeah, I mean, good luck on this. We check in on DWAC quite a bit. AB, I'm with you. This has been an incredible trading vehicle. I would not call this an investment vehicle, but it's been an incredible trading vehicle. My issue with it is that I never really have a good idea if the next move is going to be up or down, which means all the difference in the world here. Movement today has been down. Really, we've come down since the last time we tested 100. And now it looks like we need to kind of find a bottom. Maybe we get one at about 65. So maybe today is the next bounce spot. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
For snow, I know someone in the chat had asked us about snow, and we told you on 177 that, hey, your risk off would be 175 if you wanted to go long. Let us know in the chat if you did go long or not, because the snow ended up going all the way to about the 180, 150s. So you got about a 3-point move there. Coinbase. Where's Coinbase? Oh, got
PRCT to the highs. We traded this last week too.
You can see Coinbase rejecting off of that 159, 160, which is my ultimate stop off area, coming back down. I want this 10-minute candle to close below VWAP and just come on down.
Pfizer starting to move now along with Moderna. Pfizer at highs here. Wouldn't be surprised if there were some option sweeps on Pfizer.
You are absolutely right, my friend. I know something came along. Let me go ahead and check what that was. Let me go back.
Yeah, if we see Pfizer continuing to move higher, then it gives us more insight into whether Moderna's moving more because of China, maybe needing more vaccines, etc., or versus that HIV AIDS headline that we had. So Thomas Mueller saying everything is crashing. Thomas Mueller, wow, big name soccer player in the chat. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, I mean, there's certain things that are, I mean, energy is down because oil's down, right? A lot of tech's getting hit. But look at XLF, your financial sector, up about more than 1.5%. We just mentioned Moderna getting a lot of love this morning. So even when most things are down, there are still some buying opportunities out there. There are still trades to be had. So let's try to find those.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Qs green still, right? So everything coming down, but you've still got the Qs that are green. You've got the SPY that's green.
Yeah. Facebook, Microsoft in the green, Apple in the red still, Bank of America up about 3%. Let's continue checking. Disney. Wow, Disney just hanging out pretty flat right around 130. Disney's gotten it's gotten so beaten down. I don't even hear people talk about Disney stock anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't really gone anywhere, has it? Let's go ahead and take a look.
No, it's actually back at a support area. Right around 130 here.
Yeah. I mean, during COVID, like when all stocks were ripping, Disney was one of the favorites to trade. And I mean, with good reason. Disney Plus was huge. Stock ran from around, it got all the way down to $85-$90 when everything crashed, and ran all the way up to nearly $200. Now back down to $130. So before COVID ever hit, I mean, Disney was at $140 a share. We're currently now below pre-COVID prices for Disney. So I mean, that's gotta. I mean, I'm interested in that. Maybe not as much for a trade, but for a long-term investment.
Yeah, no, for sure, no question about it. Especially with, and if they get involved with VR stuff and metaverse stuff. And if that ends up being a hit, yeah, no question about it in terms of content whatsoever. By the way, Coinbase is coming back to test the lows of 155. Be interesting to see what happens here. Those contracts, if you were a little scared when they were up here, you have a chance to get out right now for a 7% gain. Again, we already sold half size at 490. The rest we're going to try to sell at 540 on Coinbase, COIN. Need that 155 to break here. If I can do it in the next two and a half minutes with a 10-minute candle, that'd be great.
Zunaid, also, I don't know if you know this, Coinbase, we're at all-time lows right now. Any new low of the day is all-time lows in Coinbase. Our 52-week low is going into today was 155.92. We're currently, well, we were just below that.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yep, right there. So anything lower.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, if you're short something that's making new all-time lows, you're in good hands, because guess what? New all-time lows means there ain't no support going to the left.
Yeah,
there's no support to catch that thing. It's not to say it can't bottom and come back up and start ripping. You know, I'm not saying, oh, anytime you see a stock making a new all-time low, go and short it. No, but just from a technical standpoint, not the worst thing in the world.
No, it's not. And I think I'm expecting it to come down to the 151s today is what I'm expecting.
That would, wow.
Yeah, just simply because of that 150, in my opinion, being a bit of a magnet, right? And then kind of bouncing off of that. Similar to how if a stock is at 190, that 200 can kind of end up being a magnet. Shout out to Ron for the trade on mRNA. Looks like he's out at 162. That was a beautiful trade there. You've got Apple, by the way, crossing below VWAP on this 10-minute candle here. It looks like 153, 153.20 or so is your resistance on that side.
Guys, your market is trying to pull here again, so it looks like it's trying to roll over. So just keep that in mind. Nice trade at Moderna.
Rolling.
Will's asking for us to check out Tesla real quick. We're down. Honestly, kind of a low move for Tesla. Only down about 1.5% right now. You know, we typically see Tesla move a lot. So 780 right now. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw Elon Musk was doing his typical Twitter thing this morning. Challenged Putin to a combat. He wanted to fight Vladimir Putin, Elon Musk said on Twitter, and the winner gets Ukraine.
I would actually put my money on Elon Musk. I think
really.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
He's so much younger, and I think he's probably got a trick up his sleeve, right?
Well, Putin, but Putin spent like 20 years in the KGB, so he's got a couple tricks up his sleeve too. Now, here's where I think Musk's trick might trump Putin's, is if Musk just shows up in like an Iron Man suit. Like,
I don't think he did that on purpose, Ryan.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's too many meme names.
But Trump's Putin. I said it as I said. But think about it. Think about it. Musk comes in with an Iron Man suit, which, I mean, if I'm Elon Musk, if I'm like the richest man in the world, I would have an Iron Man suit. So, yeah, I mean, it would be entertaining. I don't know. I don't know like the legality of it if Musk has the authority to fight for Ukraine.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat here saying that Putin is a black belt. Wasn't that an honorary black belt? Wasn't that revoked?
I mean, he's 70. He's 69 years old. So I don't know if he has like the physical strength to compete in a fight. But like I said, former KGB, probably some tricks.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. Thrifty Foot J13. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Elon pulls out that flamethrower. Let me tell you this right now. Elon pulls out a flamethrower. Putin's going down. Okay. I don't know what else to tell you. A flamethrower. I don't need to fight anybody that has a flamethrower, like KGB or otherwise.
There we go. All right, yeah. All right. So, but Tesla, bottom line. What
Way to bring us back.
On Tesla.
On
Tesla, you're trading at about 780 or so. If you want to go long here, you can. Risk off would be below 775, as it is going to be below VWAP there. I personally am still short side biased, but that's because I am in Coinbase, which is a short trade, which realistically is coming back up. And if it breaks that 160, I'll probably lose a little bit, because I'll probably lose more than I gained on the first sells that we had. But you've got also Apple here trading right around VWAP. So let's take a look at the SPY. You've got SPY right around VWAP. So it looks like everything's kind of in which way am I going to go? Which way am I going to go? Yeah. Leaning slightly, unfortunately, to the long side at the moment. But if this SPY can close below 420 or 419, looking good for the downside, no question about it. Coinbase trying to make session highs. If it crosses 160 here, And see, this is why we scale out, because imagine if we didn't scale out and we still had full position, we'd be pissed. But here we are on Coinbase. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Let's see what the spreads are like. All right, on Coinbase, I'm going to go ahead and grab another small position.
Nice.
Yep. I'm going to grab another small position here. Got filled at 360 on Coinbase. I am expecting to stop out. Why did I get in? Simply because to me, it's so close to my risk off area that I might lose about 30 cents, maybe 40 cents or so. But I grabbed a few more contracts there. SPY is trying to break higher here, and I believe that might be session highs there.
Yeah,
And
tick.
Hex Pony, good shout. AGRI halted to the upside at 423. We talked about this one prior to the market opening. This was one that ran last week. Looks like we are halted now at the high 423 on a big spike on big volume. So good shout there, Hex Pony.
So Zunaid, I know you're watching Apple on the VWAP. It looks like we just tried to come up and test the previous highs of the day. If you go to like a shorter 5-minute chart or 1-minute chart or something, so potential kind of double top action in Apple here. But I'm still watching this. I mean, who knows? Like you said, Zunaid, everything's in kind of which way do we want to go mode today. So
haven't figured it out yet. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is nothing extravagant simply because it's only 10 minutes. But look at how every single 10-minute candle here has been lower highs, right? That doesn't, again, mean anything because it's only a 10-minute candle. It's not like it's a daily or an hourly or anything like that. But something to kind of think about in terms of like price action and what's going on. This 160 is now resistance here. What I'm going to do, by the way, is this Coinbase that I got into. Let me go ahead and put that order in there real quick. The Coinbase that I got into at 360. I'm gonna try to sell at $4 here if I can. So come on, Coinbase, just tick down a little bit.
Options. I was like, wow, we're nowhere near 360. Good lord.
No. On Coinbase, we had gotten filled again at $3.60. I'm gonna try to get out of $4 if I can. But yeah, that's the thing that kind of worries me. That's why I'm not 100% on the long side, because on the 10-minute candles, you've got lower highs there, and on Coinbase, that 160 ends up being resistance, but. And SPY, the 422 has been resistant since that opening candle on the 10-minute side. Can't break above that. We come back and visit the lows of 419, then we head south. And come on. The Coinbase contracts are $4 on the ask side. I just need you to fill me on the contract.
I'm also watching some of the solar names today. We've seen solar have a lot of strength over the past couple of weeks. So I'm looking at Run is up down about 4% today, but up about 20% over the last month. So anytime you have this where you have a stock that's showing strength, but then having it down, it's sometimes hard to tell. Is this a buying opportunity? Is the trend going to continue positive, or could this be a top? So Sunrun's chart is interesting to me right now. It's just on my watch list, not really setting up for any trades at the moment. But yeah.
AGRI open, by the way, and higher.
Which one, Ryan?
AGRI, sorry. That was the halt that we had just we had just talked about. So that opened up, is higher by a little bit up, and now it's lower. So yeah, I spoke too soon. I sneezed and it fell out of bed there.
Aaron Bryan's pointing out INDO, Indonesia Energy. Of course, this is one that we saw run from like $4 all the way up to 70 last week, and is now back down to below 30. So I mean, to me, I don't like to trade these names that run so much so quickly. But like Aaron says, like they oftentimes move really well for day trading. If you have the stomach to kind of trade these high flyers, you get big movement. So whether you're going short, whether you're going long, they can set up for trades. I just personally don't really dabble in those.
All right, you've got Coinbase popping above 160. I'm going to give it about another second or two here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out here. Take my L. So the fills so we had a 420 fill, and then we sold half at 490, and my exit on this one is at 330. So this ends up being a red trade for me simply because I did not scale out enough, and so that's gonna be a red trade for me there. But hopefully you guys understood why we took the trade in the first place, why we scaled out. The issue here was that I gave it a little bit too much room. I should have seen this double bottom here on the 10-minute candles as a sign of a bottom short term. But regardless, I am out of Coinbase. It is a L for me, unfortunately.
I like Coinbase. I think that this is going to be a great long. I just can't. I don't feel confident being able to time the bottom. You know, like I actually like Coinbase to the long side, but I don't think the time is right just yet.
Well, yeah, and like we said earlier, making new all-time lows. It's hard sometimes to try
Exactly.
to buy a stock when
Yeah.
when there's that much weakness and you're trying to like time a bottom. But I mean, look, if you're bullish cryptocurrency, then you got to be bullish Coinbase long term. I mean, they're the leader. They're the I don't know. They're the Walmart of crypto. Like they're like the most establishment kind of place you can go to buy. Like if I had to buy Bitcoin anywhere and hold it, it'd probably be Coinbase.
That's what I'm doing. I mean, the crypto that I'm holding long term is in a Coinbase account. I mean, you think about it, you think to yourself, if you're going to buy just like what you just did, if you're going to buy crypto and hold it, where are you going to do that? Are you going to open up a Robinhood account? Are you going to open up a Coinbase account?
Yeah,
Me, the answer's simple there, but I mean, maybe it's just my own bias on Robinhood.
And there's like a million new exchanges that like pop up all the time, but it's like I'd rather go with like the biggest, the one that I feel safest with. But yeah, and it does look like, speaking of Bitcoin moving higher over the past, I don't know.
Yeah, it's higher overnight, and it looks like we are trying to kind of push up today. Real quickly, I want to take a question here from the chat. Miss Whitehorse, very loyal supporter of ours. Thank you very much. Asking about NET. Ryan, thoughts on NET? So here's a daily chart of NET. First of all, as far as the actual company goes, I really like NET. This is like a thing behind the thing of the internet, right? They do all types of like hosting, and in fact, if you actually click on the overview down here, it will go ahead and tell you some of the things it's involved in: load balancing, web optimizations, mobile software development kit, Cloudflare Access, and Cloudflare Spectrum, among others. So I really like this in terms of what they do. Obviously, technology has been out of favor recently. This is down from highs at 220. Not saying it goes back to 220 anytime soon, but I do actually like this higher. If you look right where we're at on the chart, this does look like a pretty good support area. I would say if we're unable to hold, let's call them, looks like we did kind of sell off beneath Friday's lows. We're bouncing now and putting in a green candle. I would say that next stop here, if we do have some more downside, you'll probably test 80. So if you were going to swing this, I would swing this against that $80 price level and look for a breakout above 120-ish here. I do like this long term. I don't have a position for it. Again, I can't really time the bottom here, but I like what the company does. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, and Ryan, the other thing I love about that details page, if I'm checking out a stock that I don't know that well, you mentioned the overview. I also love being able to check the peers right there and seeing, who are the other players in this industry, because oftentimes, like, you can have the right idea about a trend or about an industry, or say, like, for example, like, I think cybersecurity is going to get, but you want to pick the winners within that industry, and this makes it very easy to find which companies are in the best position from a financial standpoint, from a technical standpoint, which ones have the most kind of bullish activity on. So I love this peers tab.
Yeah, and that's a great point, especially if you're trading themes or baskets. You're definitely going to do well trading the leaders, right? And so even just simply viewing this peers tab, this is just like a table, right? You can sort on all of these different columns. You can pick and choose what columns you want to see. You can filter even if you want to. So this might actually help you kind of determine where you sit, or where the current or the actual stock you're looking at sits amongst its peers. And while you're on that topic, AB, shout out to all of these different tabs. A lot of these are very, very helpful. I personally love the insider tab, being able to check out what insiders are doing, what new positions are taking, what the C-suite executives are doing. Very, very helpful in longer term trading plans. And one of our recent ads here is the short interest tab. So I know everyone gets, talk about short, number of shares available to short percent of float, also days to cover is in here. So a lot of really helpful information in that details tab. It's your all-in-one due diligence tool as far as I'm concerned.
Beautiful. Yep. And I put the link in the chat, pro.benzinga.com. If you haven't done your 2-week trial yet, go ahead and sign up. No credit card needed. No reason not to try it out for a couple weeks. You got any questions? Hit up Ryan.
That's right. And like I like to say, know the why, right? It's not Benzinga Pro's it's not a crystal ball that's gonna tell you what stock is gonna go 100% next. Instead, it's a news wire that's gonna tell you why stocks are putting in that move. So all those traders out there, you gotta know why stocks are moving around so you can make some good decisions.
You've got Tesla trying to approach 800, about $6 away there. And you've got Coinbase trying to make a move here as well. And your Apple is at session highs, 153.50.
There you go.
The next level in terms of resistance on SPY for me is at 424. And I think it was John that was looking at Snow. I don't know if he's still in that one. What's up, Ryan?
I was just going to say, Abel was saying, get your crypto off exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto. Interesting. My justification is that I just don't have a whole lot of Bitcoin. Like in terms of my entire investment portfolio, it's a rather small percentage, but there might be something to that. I know a lot of people talk about having their Bitcoin in cold storage that they keep in a safe, all that stuff. So mine, I just keep on the exchanges. I don't have a whole lot. I mine it too, right? So I'm constantly transferring to my Coinbase account from my NiceHash miner account. So
that's awesome.
While we were on the topic of Benzinga Pro, I do want to throw this ask out there. If there are any viewers out there that use Benzinga Pro, and you've had a winning trade using Benzinga Pro recently in the past 6 months, year or so, let me know, and you can send me an email directly. I'll drop my email in the chat. I'm working on a little story just about different users that we've had that have used Benzinga Pro to make a winning trade. So, like I said, if that's you, I'd love to include you in my story. You can shoot me an email, aaronbree@benzinga.com. Yeah, well, please reach out. Hope you guys are using Benzinga Pro, and more importantly, hope you guys are hitting winning trades.
Yeah, and I'd like to second that, AB, because we definitely want to do that. Anytime that someone from our community is able to use this tool to make some money or better what they're doing, better their trade, better their investment portfolio, that's exactly why we got into this business in the first place. We want to hear about that. I would second your call, AB. If there's anyone out there that has a successful strategy or a successful trade that you want to talk about, reach out and tell us about it. I'll give you a real quick preview here. Let me throw up my pro. I actually had one of our community members came up with a scanner, signals, and details tool, came up with a workspace designed to catch and trade momentum plays. And what was so cool about this was that this was something that I had never thought of. One of our community members just kind of put this together. You guys you might know him. It's Bullish Bob in our chat group. He's been trading for a long time, came up with this on his own, and then we presented it to the group. So really interesting stuff. Tons of awesome ways to do it. And here, I'll give you another little bonus. Here's a real easy one for you. This also came from our community here, from our happy hour community. If you load up a news feed and you load up a details tool and you click chart on the details tool, add the 50 and the 200-day moving average. And it turns out that if you type in keyword death cross or keyword golden cross in the news feed search bar, it's going to give you a list of all of these stocks that have had that over the past couple of days. So let me click on Yum here real quick. This is a story from Friday. Look, this just made a death cross on Friday. Here it is. You can see it. So I have a list of all of these stocks that are making death crosses, or if I come in here and I filter for golden cross, I can do the exact same thing. Super easy to put together. Came directly from our community. So
that's
real
awesome.
Cool stuff. If you have strategies, send them to Aaron Bree. Maybe you'll get featured.
Yeah, would love to. Yeah, JD's in the chat saying he had a couple winning trades. Hit me up. Again, would love to include you in the story. Zunaid, Ryan, my buddy wanted me to tell you guys that Apple kind of ripping the past few minutes, so he's watching that.
Okay. What's the contract down now? By the way, Tesla approaching 800 here. You can see the alert. What are those contracts worth?
So we opened, we were down about 50%. We're up a little bit from there, but not much. Still down 45% total. About 60 cents a contract right now. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna ride with them, honestly. Like, look, again, it's not that big of a position for me. It's 200. Well, now the value is $300 for all the contracts. I'm gonna set a stop loss. So right now, $300. I'll only put myself in a position to lose at most half of this. 150. I'll recoup those losses, but I'm gonna let these ride for now and say like. It just in case. I mean, we've seen crazy things in this market happen before. So if for Apple to turn green on the day, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, keep in mind, you've still got a whole week. It doesn't need to get there just today, but you need it to continue moving because the goal isn't for it to get to 160. The goal is for the percentage, the likelihood of it to be there for you to try to sell your contracts
Exactly. And that's why even if we, end the day flat on Apple today, there's a chance we open up 2% or, whatever. So it's just, again, not really investment advice, not what I would tell anyone to do, but what I'm personally doing.
Maddie feels a
Cat's out of the
little
bag.
lied to.
Cat's out of the bag, Matty Ice. They're my Apple contracts. Sorry for misleading you.
I can't believe you make such decisions, Eric. Like, I had more faith in you than that.
That's where you went wrong.
Is Benzinga Pro geared more for day or swing traders? I am a day trader, and I use Benzinga Pro. Ryan, I believe, is more of a swing trader.
Yeah. So the way I would answer that is you get in what you get out of it, what you put into it. So it's a newswire. It's got tools designed to help you scan. If you set up one of those scanners to help you find day trades, it's going to help you day trade. If you use some of the other news and tools to dig into stocks, that's going to help you swing trade and invest. So it really depends on what you put in. It is a tool designed to help anybody and anyone's investment goals, and chances are there are going to be ways to do that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Just last thing. One of the other things is that we have email alerts. So if you're not able to actually sit in front of the platform all day, there might be other ways that you can take advantage of that via some of the email alerts. So it's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, Ryan, I've got your screen pulled up. If you want to go to that dashboard that shows all the different setup options you have right here. Right, there are so many different tools and different ways to use Benzinga Pro. It's really, it's like a build your own toolbox. What you, like Ryan said, what you put into it, what you get out of it. So a swing trader and a day trader will both get tremendous value from this tool, but they'll be using it maybe a little bit differently. Same with a long-term investor. A long-term investor can still get value out of Benzinga Pro. You can look at, companies' financial statements, income statements, balance sheets. So no matter what you're doing in the stock market, this is a helpful tool.
Yeah, and one of the other things, AB, you hit it right on the head earlier when you said I'm more of a swing trader and an investor than I am anything else. But you know what? The market is going to decide what's going on. And in an environment like we have right now, I haven't been putting on new swing trades and new investments on a regular basis. I have, in fact, been scalping. I've been day trading here with the group here. So because the tool is flexible, it allows you then to also mold to whatever market environment's going on right now. So I'm not thrilled with day trading, but it's the hand the market's giving me. That's the hand I have to play. Right.
Yeah, and swing trades have become increasingly hard over the past months, 6 weeks with Russia and everything, because in an ideal swing trading environment, you can recognize strength and say, okay, 6 weeks from now, this stock should be trading higher because, X, Y, and Z. But now it's like we get one headline and that stock's down 10% tomorrow and your whole swing trade is busted. So it's setting up for more of an environment where it's actually, in some ways safer to be in and out of trades in the same day. So crazy environment right now. Definitely a lot of volatility, which is great for day traders. A little bit harder to nail those swing trades.
And so real quick, so I went ahead and I posted the Bullish Bob video where he walks you through creating the momentum scanner that I just showed you. So go ahead and check that out. Regarding this default page here, the other thing that I want to mention here is, as you just saw, you can put these tools together to work in a very specific way. There's not necessarily a right or wrong way. The right way is the way that helps you. And there are so many different things in here that I would encourage you to play around with it and come up with some. Don't be thrown off by how daunting it might look from the beginning. We do have presets to get you available, but it's one of those things where when you start trying it, you're going to start finding value in it. So just stick with it. If you need help, reach out to our team. We absolutely want to help you.
Oh my goodness.
You okay?
Yeah, Zunaid, quick water check. How are we looking on that full liter?
Half.
All right. Well, you got about 10 minutes.
What time are we getting off?
No, we're going to 11. I know you guys usually pop off around 10:30, but if you guys want to hang out with me till 11, that'd be much appreciated, or at least Zunaid. Ryan, I know Ryan, you got a day job, right? At Benzinga, you got.
Yeah, I work here at Benzinga during the day. Correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm gonna hang out with you as long as I can. I got a great team working with me. Their shoulders are wide and they are handling it right now. So we're gonna have some fun looking at the market. It seems a little slow here. My scanner's a little slow. I'll run through the list here real quick. The one other question I wanted to answer, Mustha, Mr. Rahman, does BZ Pro have the active trader like TOS? No. Remember, BZ Pro is a financial newswire. TOS is a broker. They serve different things. They have different purposes. So in order to benefit from BZ Pro, I would assume that you already have some type of brokerage account. It is, however, worth noting that part of our plan is to add trade integration right into the platform. So you should be able to trade no matter what your broker is sometime in the future. We'll keep you posted on that.
You've got PDDs, what we talked about earlier. If you like the short idea around 30, it is above 30. Now you've got PayPal above 100, trying to really act as support. So you see it broke above 100, came back on this 10-minute candle, it tested 100, holding so far. I want to say it's held as support. Still too early to tell, but the best bit risk reward, in my opinion, maybe grabbing 1/4 size here, and then you really scale in when it comes closer to $98 to get your position in. But Coinbase is kind of consolidating between 160 and 162 now. Let me pull up Coinbase here. So you can see it's kind of consolidating between 160 and 162. The pop above 162 could be a nice area for you to go long. And let's go ahead and take a look at Apple. Can't spell Apple.
Trading up here.
Wheat, you said?
WEAT. Looks like we're getting a news report that they're sanctioning exports.
This is the ETF that, yeah, I've got it up on the right. This is the ETF that is no longer correlated with wheat futures, right, or something?
Something weird happened with it. I forget exactly. I mean, it ran all the way up to, it looks like highs around 1230, then came crashing back down to 10. Now, of course, moving higher again. So, yeah, I mean, Mitch mentioned before his Wi-Fi cut out on the flight, he's still watching those materials trades. So we'll keep checking in on commodities and materials today.
Yeah, it was, thank you, Jonathan. It was Russia to halt exports. Nick is saying, by the way, guys, I'm currently redesigning this to be more modular. Would you be able to drag and drop these modules anywhere you want? So what you're referring to are the different modules within Pro. You'd like to just be able to pick up this scanner and move it somewhere else on the workspace. We hear you. We're with you. And I got good news for you. That is coming. We are actually going to refactor the layout system at some point this year. So you should have that increased functionality that you're looking for. I don't have a specific day for you, but stick around because you are going to be able to see some of those changes here to the layouts. They're also going to support people that have 4K or 2K monitors. You're going to be able to put some more tools on there. So there's some cool stuff coming down the pipe here.
He's saying he's helping with that. He's actually working with Jason on a project to redesign some Benzinga Pro features and whatnot.
Sweet.
Yeah, Benzinga Pro team constantly moving to deploy new advancements and designs on the page. So it's always great, right? If you're you have a product or a service that's constantly being updated and truly taking feedback from users, right? Like not a lot of places I feel like incorporate feedback from our users as well as we do.
And that's like a core tenet of what we do here. It is awesome. I mean, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work for you, it's not going to work for us. So tell us what it is that you want and we'll design it that way. It's one of those things where you can't just have it done the next day.
Yeah, and one of Jason's biggest thing is that if one user, has a problem with it, that means 100 other users are. So if you are a Pro user and something bothers you, don't hesitate. Reach out to us. Let us know because chances are that bothers someone else too, and then we can fix that not only for you but for the other users as well.
Absolutely.
Zunaid, you watching Coinbase at all still or no?
Nah, I kind of let go of Coinbase. I wouldn't be interested in it unless it comes back below 158. If you were to try to go short, Tesla, I think, is the best idea. As that 800 acted as resistance. Let me pull up Tesla. TSLA. You can see that 800 resistance now. It's down about 9 points from there. If you're trying to go long, the closer you are to 780, the better. And then you can risk off below that, maybe below 775. But for me, I'm not necessarily trading anything at the moment. So yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out, seeing what happens here.
RKDA at a 159, 160 level. I guess that could, if it takes this level down, you could pop here. This is one that's run before. This could be a good scalp here. It looks like a big seller here at 159. That looks to be the spot right now. They're pulling back off that spot now. Let's see if they bring it right back up there and hit that.
Let's see where the cues are at here as well. Yeah, see, yeah, you could expect a little bit of a pullback to the VWAP and then go if you believe in the long side of it. What are the players?
The Players Championship. It's a golf tournament that's going on right now. I just figured we didn't want to waste time right now. We only got about 30 minutes left. Let's find some more trades, not talking about golf. Yeah, 30 asked me on Benzinga Live. We'll talk about the players. Yeah, I mean, market's coming in right now. I've got CNBC. I'm watching that. Today would be the first day in the past like 3 or 4 trading days if SPY is able to hold gains and finish green. Ultimately, with all the uncertainty, I think it's great news if we're able to hold on to these gains and say, yeah, even with everything going on right now, a lot of prices are very attractive right now, which that's where I'm at. But again, it's just so hard to try to time any bottom or catch any falling knives.
Yeah. Robel, I believe, if I'm pronouncing that correct. If I'm not, I apologize. But you can get both. So it's either or. You can get Trading School, or you can get Benzinga Pro, or you can get both. I believe there might be a landing page if Ryan already knows about it. If not, you can DM one of us and we'll get you the right person to talk to.
Yeah, so now we have a AB spoofer here. So Zunaid's son has now become Aaron's daughter. So that's always fun. You know, the one thing real quick about the trading school there is that the trading school product itself is obviously an education product, but it comes with Benzinga Pro.
Oh, there you go.
If you're interested in Benzinga Pro and you think that the extra thing you need is that education from an instructor, then Trading School or Options Trading School is probably the correct product. If you don't think that you need that education, then you can just get Benzinga Pro on its own. But if you get one of those schools, it comes with Pro.
There you go. Ryan with the more info. That makes sense. I'm glad we did it that way.
All right, chat, help us out here. Any tickers y'all are watching this morning? Yeah, Zunaid, wow, great call on Tesla. We're already down like $5 from when you called that it wouldn't be a bad idea to short there after that.
Yeah, and if it wasn't a Monday, I wouldn't, because let's see what the contracts on Tesla are trading at, right? Let's let me go here. Let's pull this up here. Yeah, they're those puts on Tesla are trading at like $22, things like that. I necessarily don't like to play those, just because to me, they can drop so easily that it's just not my risk tolerance, if you will. But if this was a Thursday or Friday, absolutely would have loved to play it. Because like you can't even get under 1,000 on Tesla puts unless you go all the way down to like 740s, and those might have moved about 10-15%, you know, so nothing that I like in terms of my appetite.
Yeah, and Zunaid, is it as simple just because it's Monday? You're saying just because we're further away from that expiration date that the contracts are going to be more expensive than if, say, we were looking at them on a Wednesday?
That is exactly right. Yes,
got it.
That is exactly right. Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever factored that into my option trading. So here's maybe I need to sign up for the Benzinga Option School.
Yeah, just because like there's more. So the reason that they're trading higher is because there's more likelihood of an event happening, right? Because there's so much time left. You're paying for that time for a move to happen in your favor. Whereas if you're trading on a Thursday, Friday, you already lost 3 days worth of it. And okay, here's a fun one. You guys think this is a scam likely? I'm gonna pick this call up. What do you think? Scam likely or no? You guys think it's a scammer?
No, I don't.
Oh no.
Right, let's see. I'll be right back. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
I think that's your long lost, the one that got away. The one.
I'll leave Zunaid on camera even though he's muted, so we won't hear him, but we can see his facial expressions as he
thinks that he's off camera. Now he's laughing
as he scams. He's gonna scam the scammer back. We'll see.
That's my favorite. I love scamming the scammers. That to me, that's like when I get one of those scam calls, I answer the phone like it's Domino's Pizza, and then I guilt them into trying to order a pizza. They never want to, but I try to get them to do that.
Or Ryan, what you should do is I know you're more on the customer success, less on the sales side. You should just start your pitch on Benzinga Pro right away. Say, oh, I'm not interested in what you're calling me about, but I have this great product that you may be interested in.
You know what? I'm going to do that. That is an excellent idea.
If you make a sale that way, I will pay you personally $100.
Okay. That you heard it here first. If I sell a pro sub to a verified scammer, AB will pay me $100. I love it. We're gonna turn the tables on him. I love this. AB.
Turning tables. All right, guys. Chat again. Let us. Oh, AEI. We got that one from Ronald RNLD. I don't know. I called him Ronald. I don't know if that's really his name. I don't even know what AEI is.
Well, let's pull it up. Let's see if that's a ticker. By the way, you've got the Qs coming back to VWAP like we said, and you've got Tesla now down 16 points from the $800 level.
Oh, I know why Ronald's watching AI. It's because it's up 20% today.
Was it scam likely, or was it your daughter?
It was actually my gym confirming that my appointment was still good for tomorrow. So
a little personal training appointment.
Yeah.
By the way, RKDA did go. I know what we talked about it here. We started making jokes. RKDA through that 159. We're printing 168 now. Nice little scalp. If you took that one, I'd close it here or at least trim and trail.
Zunaid, what are you going to hit with your personal trainer?
What's up?
What are you going to hit with your personal trainer? Like, are you
like
trying
what
to
am I focusing on?
Yeah, like were you like, yo, I need to get my calves ripped by summer? No.
No, I'm trying to lose my sugar and carb belly, man. So I weighed about 190 at the beginning of January. Now I weigh about 171.
Oh, wow.
So
congrats.
Now I feel, thank you. But I feel like now I've done what I can by myself, and I need a little bit more insight. So if I want to get to that 155, I need a little bit of help. So
yeah, and that's really common to kind of hit that plateau of where you where you can get yourself. Then you need to kind of pull in some help. And it's the same thing with trading, right? If you've found that you have hit a plateau and that you've gotten as good as you can on your own, then that's when you may want to consider something like the Benzinga Trading School or Benzinga Options School. I hope you guys appreciated that segue.
That was really nice. Way to tie that in there. That was awesome. I loved it.
I loved it.
Jason would be very proud. Go ahead, Ryan.
Real quick here, AGRI put in new highs. Sudhakar from the chat here is saying, how about CEAD? It ran on March 10th with AGRI. Absolutely. I love that. I love that sympathy play. CEAD right up here. We're actually looking at a 197 break. If you break that here, it may pop. We'll see. We'll see if this actually gets some more movement. But this has run before. There it goes and through on CEAD here.
Yeah, Tiny Pie, I am as well.
You might have a trade here.
I think there's a lot of value on longing Zunaid's washboard abs now because the market is not pricing it in. It's almost as if they don't see it. It's almost as if the market has not seen it as a realistic possibility. Whereas I think this could really come to fruition. So there's some strong value there. Tiny Pie, great call.
Something cool that I learned that I wish I knew a while back is the treadmill. I think it's called like the 12-3-30 or however you can adjust it how you want, but it's pretty much an incline of 12 at a speed of 3 for 30 minutes. And you'll burn about, like, depending on your weight and your height and all that, you'll burn about like 250 to 300 calories in 30 minutes, which is freaking phenomenal. So for those of you trying to lose some weight, try that out and adjust it as you need to, obviously, but just some personal stuff that I've been doing. It's been working. And intermittent fasting. I know not everyone can do that, but
yeah, it's tough for me. I gotta get something in my belly by like 10 a.m. or I'm not gonna be a happy camper throughout the day. But I have had friends that have had great results from that. Let's see. Gene's talking about Chevron. Let's check back in on Chevron, of course. Let me while we're looking at Chevron, check back in on the crude oil prices. Looks like wow. We're continuing to move lower. If we look at a chart of oil, we dipped below $100 we got right to 100 and then bounced from there. But if you guys remember when we started the show, we were at 104. Now we're down to 101. So oil continuing to move lower, just crude oil, but Chevron conversely is moving higher in the past 10-20 minutes. So that's interesting. Again, I kind of shared my thoughts on Chevron right now earlier. I think if we're in an environment where we see oil stay this high for 6 months, a year, whatever, then Chevron's a steal at 160 or 170 where it's at now. But the risk at buying Chevron up here, and of course it's already run up 20% over the last month, is that we were one headline away from oil prices coming down another 10%. Then we're looking at $90 oil. Then Chevron would probably in that environment move lower. So I'd say it's risky to buy Chevron up here after we've already kind of moved up around, or Chevron's up 45% over the last 3 months alone. So it is a little overextended. But like I said, if oil prices stay at this level 6 months to a year, then it's a steal.
I'm laughing at these comments on puts on my weight and things like that. First off, puts on my body fat. Let's go with that, because if I bulk up, that might be that. You might. That's kind of like when you buy calls on the stock, or that's like when you buy calls and the stock goes up, but your calls don't, and you lose money. So let's buy puts on my body fat percentage. If anything, I think the funniest comment is Tiny Pie, psychological $100 level of support. I hope I never get anywhere near $100.
No, I think he was actually talking about the oil price there.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were funny, Tiny Pie.
Talking about the 100 pounds. Yeah, I'd be very worried if Zunaid got down to 100 pounds.
150 is like okay, this is good. Stop it.
Yeah, Zunaid, I'm actually trying to gain weight right now. I wish there was a way you could just transfer some over to me.
I can't believe Coinbase doesn't have that.
Too.
What'd you say, Ryan?
I'd sign up for that too. I'd be happy to give you some.
Oh, fine. Yeah.
Someone else said puts on butter
Yeah.
chicken. Puts on butter chicken. Yeah. I told my trainer. So I have like one who's virtual. He lives in Indy. Like he works with me on esports. And he looked at my butter chicken stuff. He's like, yeah, your calories are low, but your sodium on it is like 28%. That's not good for you. I'm like, damn it. I got to find something else.
Wait, is this like so I shouldn't be like worried about this comment. This is like an inside joke or something.
Yeah. So
butter chicken is delicious.
Yeah, that's undebatable.
It's amazing. Zunaid gets it all the time.
I get it all the time.
Crunches up Cheetos and puts them on top. It's crazy.
Yes. Oh, so here's the thing. In this journey, I've actually scaled back on chips that I put into it. I'm sure my ancestors are happy with that. But yeah, no, AB, the reason they say that is...
Yeah, they didn't like Cheetos on the butter chicken.
Yeah.
No, AB, I eat butter chicken from Trader Joe's because it's like a quick meal. Warm it up, you're done with it. But now I have to get an air fryer and be an adult or something like that. So,
yeah, the Trader Joe's like frozen meals they have that you can make real quick. They're great because you feel like you're cooking, right? You like kind of like. Well, some of them you can just put in the microwave, but like I actually made some Trader Joe's fried rice last night that I just put in the pan.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Like I felt like I was actually cooking, but really all I did was like open the bag and turn the stove on. But yeah, some of the Indian dishes they have at Trader Joe's is very strong. So I'll have to check out. I know I've had the tiki masala from Trader Joe's. I don't know if I've had the butter chicken, so I'll definitely check that out.
By the way, CEAD through 198 and now through 2. So that was a good trade here. We just talked about. Let me shout out whoever that was. I'm gonna make sure I pronounce your name correctly, or attempt to anyway. Sudhakar, nice call on seed. It looks like that trade went here.
Zunaid, going back to Tesla real quick.
Let's do it.
Let me. Oh wow, whatever AEI that someone pointed out had just came down 10% over the last. Tesla, I'm looking at a 5-minute chart here.
Mm-hmm.
If we bounce up to around 790, looks like a little intraday kind of head and shoulders potentially.
Yeah, the biggest thing is a bounce off of VWAP, which is currently around 780, right? So we talked about 800 being resistance because that's a psychological number. Then we've always talked about VWAP being resistant and or support, depending if you're below or above it. And you can see that 780 acted as support. Now, if you're trying to go long, your risk off is probably below 775. So you're risking about $10, which means you want to get at least $10 to the upside. So if you're going to get here in at 785, you're going to get out at 774. Let's just say you want to make sure your profit target is around 796 to kind of have that one-to-one trade. I will say this.
I love how Raz just walked straight in front of you. I was about to ask you who did that, and then I saw it was Jason. We got to get
asking. He's asking Jason for money. I don't know.
They want to say hi.
I heard Aaron Bree talk about Tesla. I had puts on Tesla, but guess what?
What?
I covered my Tesla puts on Thursday at 8:35. I had them for so long. I mean, I own the stock long, so I'm really long the stock. But I had these puts that expire March 27th, and I freaking covered them on 8:35 or 8:40 last week, and then the next day it went down 30 points, and then today.
Yes,
so
it did.
And I even I'm so mad because I've been watching these puts forever. If I would have just waited 2 days or didn't open my freaking browser, I would have kept my puts, and I would have been. That's very upsetting. So I just heard you guys talk about Tesla, and I just had to come complain and you know how people like to talk about their losses sometimes. Well, I do.
Yeah, we're all about sharing the process here. Jason, we know that you'll get this back, though. I mean, you were long from like 300, so you're doing all right.
No. I've been long since $18 or $12. I'm still long the stock. I have net like a decent amount of shares, but Ryan, I was trying to hedge a little bit and be smart. So I hedged, and then it was like flat basically. And I kept waiting and waiting. And then Ryan, I was like, because the time decay, Ryan. So I'm like, all right, well, they're going to expire March 27th. It's like at 8:20. It's come down a bit. I'm going to cover. And then the next 2 days, boom, drops like a rocket. And I'm just sulking.
We have a joke here on this show. Zunaid says it all the time. He says, okay, I sold my position, so now the stock can move. And
that's right.
It does. And it sounds like that's exactly what
happened. Ryan. So I put the limit order in for the to cover the puts. Okay, I put the limit order. It didn't execute, and I was like a little bit away. I'm like, you know what? I'll just adjust it and execute it immediately. And then literally from there, it dropped from just whatever.
Jonathan says sometimes the hardest thing for a trader to do is nothing at all. Turns out,
yeah.
You are correct.
And Ryan, the funny thing is, I have a decent amount of shares. Well, it's all relative, but I bought it a long time ago. And the thing I was going to say is, I sold it at 1,060, but I sold 5-10 shares, and I never really sold a bunch. But I know people, guys, who are buying as many shares as you could ever imagine on Tesla. They are more bullish than ever in a huge way. And so it goes both ways, right? The story doesn't stop. And these people are very smart. That's actually why I got into Tesla way back when. He had the first Tesla in Michigan, and I drove in it, and that's how I got into it.
Actually, that's pretty awesome. Following the smart money is a good, effective plan. By the way, CEAD, 20 cents from our entry. Great call by our chat here. Trim and trail if you got it.
Nice job, guys. All right, well, thank you for listening to me. I'm sorry if I annoyed you guys. You guys are awesome.
See ya.
Oh, one more thing, Jason. David wanted to let you know he has a comment directly.
I already read it. I read it. You guys should get a bonus and some shit like that.
I mean, they should get a budget and a bonus. Apparently, Nate asks for it every day, so it looks like David
if we can get 1,200 articles published on Benzinga this week, then you got it. Help me get more articles published on Benzinga this week, and then you got it. All right,
let's go, folks.
Go to the content Slack. Have them write 10 articles just from this show. Then you got it. We need to get more articles on Benzinga. Okay. All right. Yep, they deserve it. Sonny, absolutely deserve it. 100%. This is a great show. If you're not listening, hit the like button, slam it, share it. This is a phenomenal show. I listened to it in the background. I just happened to be in here, and I heard you guys talking about Tesla. But Aaron Bree had something illegal on the desk. You guys are going to see it in everybody chat right now because it's something I told people not to have, and you'll see. So just so you guys know, you guys can look at it. It's a true story. Something illegal in the office. Okay. Here you go. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.
That might have been the best random drop in.
Was it a vape pen
on the show?
Was it a vape pen? Is that what you had?
And then he walks back in front of the camera. I absolutely love it, man. I got to tell you, working for and with Jason is its own source of motivation.
Wait, AB, what'd you do?
Yeah, I mean,
It was a vape pen?
I had my vape. It was not the way you say vape pen. You make it sound like it's like a THC. No, it's just like a little jewel. But I wasn't using it to be. Let's be clear. That's not why I have it.
I'm looking at the Everybody Slack channel, just waiting for it to pop up so I can just put a laughing emoji on it.
I was gonna say AB is backtracking like I've never seen there. So that was pretty awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a great drop in, though. That was a great drop in.
Nice.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's good, Ryan. And I know, yeah, you guys.
Oh, he's typing. Oh, he's typing.
Wait, you can see he's typing. Oh man,
here it comes.
I wish I could share my screen. Reminder: please no in-office vaping.
That's my bad.
Emoji I probably shouldn't have, but I did. But there's an inside joke there. AB,
He said CC Aaron Bree and he tagged you.
Ryan and Zunaid, I know you guys are both. Zunaid, you're down in Atlanta. Ryan, you're in Chicago. But we are getting more and more people coming into the office, and it's been a lot of fun. But like anything, there are downsides. There are downsides associated with that as well.
Bree, I'm gonna be the adult in the room here. There are upsides to you giving up that vape, so don't forget.
Oh, 100%.
Hold on,
I'll
here.
use this as
Guys,
a
CEAD, by the way, what a call. CEAD with it, the group. You guys are just making money for each other. I absolutely love this. Look at CEAD. Here, I'll bring it up on my screen since Zunaid's not going to do it.
Sorry.
CEAD, absolute massive break on the 197. And this is what's so good about these trades. You guys are sometimes wondering why I'm looking to trade these junky low price stocks is because this formation is common every day, or if not every day, almost every day. The stock puts in a high on volume, pulls back a little bit, shakes out all of the weak hands, tries to break it again, can't, keep shaking out more weak hands. And then the third time, look what happens when we go through this. Look what happens when we uncorked this puppy. 33 cents now on this trade. Just Michael rode CEAD from 197 to 225. Awesome.
Nice.
There he is.
That's a beautiful move.
We need the money drop. We need the money drop. We're making money here. This is awesome.
That's a beautiful trade.
New highs on CEAD. Way to go.
All right, look, I can't. This is what I was doing. I'm sorry. You take care of the serious stuff. I'm gonna mess around here. This is what I was doing. I couldn't screenshot the whole Slack, but this is Jason calling out Aaron Bree in our Everybody channel.
Zunaid thinks that is the most hilarious thing.
Here's why it's hilarious. Wait, go back to it for a second. Because he went ahead and typed in reminder no in office vaping. Then he came back, edited, and then said CC Aaron Bree. He made the effort to come back and tag Aaron. I'm done.
it is.
I'm done, he says.
It is what it is. Ryan, you're right. I've been, meaning to quit for a while. Maybe this is my sign from God that
I did it too. I used vapes to quit cigarettes, by the way, and then quit vapes altogether. So you can, if I can do it, you can do it, and so can anyone else.
So what you're saying is I need to start smoking cigarettes to quit
vaping.
That's
not what I'm saying. Not what I'm saying.
Before it gets better, it's got to get worse. So here's the thing. You quit vaping, I'll drop pounds, and then this will be our journey together.
Well, I mentioned I was trying to gain weight. I actually think that would help me gain weight because it kind of acts sometimes like when I hit the vape, I'm not hungry. But all right, enough of that. We've got about 10 minutes left. Let's get to some. You want to check out Philip Morris or Altria? It's probably a good segue into that.
No, we do not. Segue. We don't want to buy those stocks.
No, we could buy puts. We could buy puts on because
so if I quit on butter chicken,
if I
quit, Jewel.
Yeah, if I quit, then Altria's stock price has to go down because their revenue is not going to be as strong, right?
You're getting more support from our awesome chat.
Oh,
that's the way, Aaron. 100. You can do it, my man.
That's how I will do it, is through support of the community. Tony Robbins. All right, that's a good idea. Tony Robbins got some good stuff.
Tony Robbins, like sometimes he starts going off, and I'm just like, that dude needs to chill out.
You're not a fan?
He's helping people. So
Someone got an alert. What's
I got an alert on BBBY. Let's check out what's going on.
Oh, Ryan Cohen.
That's coming down.
Beyond down. Is it down now from where he bought it at?
I don't know what his price was, but you can see we traded it on the first day.
Well, that was when it's so we'll say the price was just the day before. So we're getting.
So here it was. You're right. So the day before it was around 17. Is the previous close, I believe, on this day. Is the close was 16.18 the day before the big pop. So not a bad area if you're trying to play the balance, but obviously I would not try to play this here whatsoever. But yeah, let's go back to this box here. Let's go here. You've got Qs, by the way, near VWAP. If you like, let's see. If you are someone who believes in the long side, can you share that scanner you found this on?
Yeah, I'll go over this when you give me a sec here. I'll really quickly share this. This actually just ties a lot of stuff together here, Zunaid, because Aaron Bree was asking about relative volume earlier and why it's important. And we actually just saw why it's important. So my scanner that picked this up was the relative volume scanner. Let me put my screen on here. Here are the active filters that I have. Again, just to shout them out, at least 1 million shares of volume, relative volume of at least 3, and change percent over 1 minute of 0.2. And basically what we're looking for is we're looking for stocks to pop on a higher than average volume like CEA did here. And in this case, we're actually waiting for it to define a clear spot. So this traded up to 197. There were a bunch of sellers waiting there. We couldn't take the price through 197. So as this started to pull back towards VWAP, now we understand that 197 is the spot. So the way that this is traded is that when 197 gets taken down, this is likely going to move. So what we have to do now, our entry is when 197 gets taken down, but we don't want to chase. So we want to try to time it to take 197 down. You see the second time it tested that, we didn't go through it. Third time it actually did. This is when you want to enter. You can watch the level 2 to get a better idea of when that's actually going to come down. So again, here are your scanner settings. If you need me to type them out, let me know. Can't see them, but this is what we were able to find this with. Good question.
All right, you've got the Qs popping. And what I wanted to do, and I was a little too slow myself to call the trade out, is Qs kept testing VWAP, kept getting support, and you finally got that bounce that I was looking for. But I was too slow on the trigger to call out the trade. My apologies on that. But let's look at the process. You've consistently got the Qs testing the previous close and also VWAP, and you got a bounce there as well. I know someone talked about NEO that was near VWAP as well. Let's see how NEO ended up acting. There you go. Came near VWAP and then bounced. Let's see if PayPal ever got near 98s. No, it didn't. Not quite. And then I know John was looking at Snow. I don't know if he actually purchased anything there or not. You trading something there, pal?
I'm looking at RCAT, trying to take RCAT through.
Oh, I thought I heard a notification.
RCAT through 220 here, I think would be the spot. Long 216.
What about?
I actually think that this is kind of a higher risk trade. I almost took this out of boredom. This is a spot here. They just took it down, so I want to see if we take this down. But I'm front running this. Here, let me bring this up on screen here. All right, so this is what I'm talking about here. This was the level that got taken down, 216. But I'm front running for this break because I think that if this break happens, we actually go higher. And so that's what I'm hoping for. We'll see if this ends up materializing. But again, I'm in this a little early, so this is a risk. I'm gonna, if this pulls back 213, let's call it, I'll probably stop
that. Zunaid, quick water check. How are we looking?
A quarter to go, I would say.
Hey, nice
quarter
job.
to go. Thank you.
Happy's talking about the Elon versus Putin fight. He may be a few minutes behind. But I'm looking at Roku right now, guys. Looks like we've we've tested a about 106 level a couple times and failed to break it. So if we get back up there again and fail to break that 106 level, I'd be looking at a quick short on Roku. And here I've got my screen, but for some reason, and Ryan, maybe you can help me with this off stream sometime, but my charts just do not look as like legible. Like I feel like it's harder to read this with the white background.
Yeah, you've got some.
I don't care for the white background. I think it's harder to read with the white background. One of the other things that you can do, you can actually make that more gray and see if that helps you. To me, I prefer the darker backgrounds. I thought you weren't going to be able to see your chart because Zunaid spit water all over his computer when you made him
almost
laugh.
Almost did. I'm finishing this bad boy. This is fun. We should do this more often. A water challenge.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Like everything else, water is a great thing, but there's such a thing as too much too quick. So, Zunaid, just be careful.
You're saying I'm going to barf when I do option squawk later today?
No, I think 1 liter is fine. If you get to a point where 1 liter turns to 2 and 2 turns to 3 and all
the goal is the ideal goal is a gallon a day. I don't know how many liters equal a gallon, but
a gallon a day, fine. I'm okay with that. I'm just saying like 3 liters in a short. The biggest thing.
Oh, you're saying in a duration.
Yes. So in an hour, if you said a gallon in an hour, I'd say Zunaid, maybe we need to have a little talk, a little intervention, and we'd all come to Atlanta and get that figured out.
Oh man, maybe I'll make a trip up there for the next quarterly meeting that we have in April. I guess that would be.
There you go.
Speaking of which, are you going to Miami for our cannabis conference?
Assuming I still have a job in 6 weeks or so, I'll be there. But,
okay.
It's kind of dependent on that.
Yeah, just make sure Sharon doesn't call you out of nowhere, because that's when you start getting concerned. Yeah.
I'm actually Sharon's financial advisor, so if she calls me out of nowhere, it's probably more related to that.
Oh man,
It's actually not a joke, but I have her just doing a recurring investment into VU or SPY like every 2 weeks or something. So can't really go wrong there, right?
And we should be clear. There's a lot of jokes, names get thrown around here. Sharon is actually really, really nice. So I don't think
100%
Sharon would be the one to come out of nowhere and fire AB. So just wanted to get that out there.
No, 100%. Sharon
work, but I don't know. She's a very, very nice lady.
No, Sharon is absolutely phenomenal. She's helped me quite a bit in any issues that I've had personally. I just mentioned that because of HR. So like she in my head is the face of HR. So that's why whenever I mention Sharon, I'm giving her a props, and 2, just mentioning HR. By the way, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, our cat's getting jiggy here. They're right through 220, so it did take that 220 here. There's a refresh seller here, 219, 220, and it's getting jiggy. I actually think they're shorting it, which means that if this takes hold, this thing could pop pretty wild here. Look for it to move through 220 again. I'm long from 216. Don't chase. I'd be looking to close this on a pop through 220 unless shorts really start to cover and this thing gets wild here. So we'll watch it.
We mentioned on SPY the 424 was be resistant. That's exactly what it's acting as at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some consolidation between 422 and 424, and then we see a pop above 424 on the SPY. You've got Tesla trying to get back up above 800. Looks like the 780 level held on Tesla.
Yep, I'm going to be watching Tesla all day. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, Netflix has been top of my watch list, down another 1.5% right now, down to about 335. So definitely watching Netflix all day.
Our cat through 220 now.
Nice. Chat, we are getting that time where we are getting ready to wrap up. So if you got any tickers you want us to take a quick final look at, drop them now. Otherwise, we will be getting to wrap up here in a couple minutes. Spencer will be doing a show on futures trading here in 2 minutes. So if you've wanted to learn more about futures trading, make sure to stay tuned and smash that like, guys. I'm not typically on the show. Usually Mitch is here, and you guys typically have more likes. So I'm feeling my ego hurt a little bit right now because it's like Mitch is here. You guys have 500 likes. I'm here. We have like half of that. So make me feel a little bit better and smash that like. Otherwise,
I'm sorry, our cat's going.
Look at that pop.
Our cat's going here. Sorry, guys.
No, dude, that's a great call out. Great trade.
All right, looks like we got to rapid fire these tickers from the chat real quick. URA, that's uranium, down today. I mean, look, people are they like the uranium idea, nuclear energy. Probably we're just not ready. I mean, it's not like it's going to start making money tomorrow, but who knows? Maybe that could be a long-term investment. EDF, ChargePoint, Mullen.
Yeah, Mullen, we talked. I think the best trade at the moment. By the way, great job, Ryan. Are you out everything on that?
No, I still have just a few shares here. I'm hoping that they get filled at 227 here. If you want.
By the way, that ticker that you're looking at right there, they had options just come in, so that might be the reason for the spike. You had someone purchase like 25 calls expiring this week.
Yeah, big sweeps on AZEK. So on our CAT now I am filled and I'm out. So yeah,
nice
2,000 share flip there, easy.
Great trade
Sunday morning.
Great trade, man. Great freaking trade.
All right,
we called the spots. You had plenty of time. We called the spots. We gave them to you. We try to do that here. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's not. But nice little trade there on our cat.
All right, close us out, AB.
We are wrapping. Like I said, Spencer's going live talking futures trading, so make sure you stick around. I dropped my Twitter in the chat because everyone else has theirs up on the top. Ryan and Zunaid and I felt left out, so I dropped my Twitter as well. Nice. But all right, y'all, we'll be back for more live trading tomorrow, 9:05 a.m. Eastern. Till then, stay green and happy trading.
Yeah.
See ya.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.